Well, maybe it was diabolical. Yay. Right now, I'm not dropping a single frame playing Quake. To be fair, I'm not actually playing yet, so let's wait and see. See if we can figure out do here while we wait.
So I bought a petrol pump nozzle and cut it in half. You might call it a gas pump nozzle. The reason I cut it in half is because I want to answer one question. How do these things know when to turn themselves off? You hear that click sound? That's the nozzle turning itself off. Like when you go to fill up your car with petrol, you don't have to
Petrol.
worry about it overflowing. That's because these nozzles switch off automatically when the tank is full. But how? My first thought was that there must be some kind of electronic sensor in there. But the way these really work is much smarter than that. There are actually two very clever mechanisms in here. The first one relates to this tube you can see that runs to the end of the nozzle. And the second relates to all these connected levers. The whole thing's quite compact.
Oh,
So I've got
levers.
a few different things to illustrate each part of the mechanism.
These connected levers.
Let's start with this hole.
Oh, the hole. Let's start with that hole.
It's called the Venturi sensor, which sounds like it's electronic, but actually this is entirely fluid mechanical. It's called the Venturi sensor because it works on the Venturi effect. The Venturi effect happens in this part of the nozzle.
Creates a vacuum.
To be able to see what's going on, I got this
as the fluid drives by.
Venturi tube because it demonstrates the Venturi effect. It's a wide tube that narrows in the middle, and then you have this narrow U-bend shaped tube coming off the restriction in the middle. There are two other U-bend shaped tubes either side, but we're ignoring those for now.
Yeah, get rid of those.
I partially fill this U-bend with water. And
oh, it'll suck it up, I bet.
You might expect air to be forced into the U-bend, causing the level of water here to go down.
The opposite.
In fact, the water level here goes up.
Oh shit.
That means there must be a reduction in pressure
here vacuum.
in the constriction, and that's sucking the water up.
Okay. We'll finish that later. Boy,
vote now.
We got a duel. Oh shit. Oh shit, thwarted. What? This guy
Prepare
just
for draft.
What's going on right now? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not warmed up. It's fine though. It's fine. Big stretch. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Yep.
Prepare to fight.
On in my head. Can't focus.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1.
When you've been here this long, nothing and everything makes sense.
Oh shit, my sensitivity is super high.
everything is good to go.
I need armor. Got it. Please. Oh my god, did he get it? Oh my god, I think he got it.
Requesting backup. I need to find a slipgate out of
Alright,
this
he
place.
just got it again.
Need assistance. You bastards. Why are you torturing me like this?
Where did he go?
Someone needs a little discipline.
That's me. They call that chip damage in the business. The business, my business. Yeah. What?
Surrender is not an option.
Impressive. Revenge.
Ready to put up or shut up?
Mm-hmm. Dude,
I'm gonna go full scorched earth on you.
fucking maniac.
Are you even trying?
I mean, yeah, he is. Don't worry about him. Me. What?
Flip gates are closed. Gotta find another way home.
5-minute warning.
Dude,
This operation is
what
falling
the
apart.
fuck?
Operation is running smooth as silk.
I don't know if this thing will drop right now. understand how he can
mortals,
just fucking
taking
run
me to
right
damn
for me
stupid
every time
places with damn
and-
stupid monsters.
and still kill me. Like, I should punish the shit out of him. God.
Stopwatch.
I love the smell of gunpowder.
If he's not here, he probably already got it, because that's how he works. Oh my god, I got a heavy.
Stopwatch. Impressive.
Hoorah!
Impressive.
Kicking a man when he's down. That's pretty low.
Oh, fuck.
You lose.
Okay. Oh, it hurts. I mean, he got so many more power-ups. I don't know how to fix that. I mean, after one game. But he always does that shit to me. Just pushes it and stands on it. Oh my god. I just lost all of the SR. Yeah. Okay.
By the way, the water in the U-bend is there just so that you can see the change in pressure. There's no equivalent to that water in the nozzle itself. But why does the pressure go down? Well, it's Bernoulli's principle, but actually we can explain it quite easily from first principles. The air traveling through the constricted part of the pipe must be traveling faster than the air in the wider part of the pipe. That makes intuitive sense. To get the same amount of mass through a narrower pipe, the mass must have to travel more quickly, but you can also think about it in terms of conservation of energy. The gas here has kinetic energy, but it also has potential energy stored as pressure, a bit like how you can store energy in a spring by compressing it. But that total energy, kinetic energy plus potential energy stored as pressure, needs to be conserved.
Always.
That means that when the kinetic energy goes up in the fast-moving fluid, in the constricted part of the tube, the potential energy must go down. The pressure must go down. By the way, those two other U-bend shaped tubes either side of the middle one are there to illustrate the fact that the pressure goes down in the wider parts of the tube as well when there's air flowing, but just not to the same degree as it does in the constricted part of the tube. The two outer U-shaped pipes have nothing to do with the discussion we're having here about petrol
Not a damn
nozzles.
thing.
I just thought I should explain what they were.
Yeah, okay.
Vote now.
We'll get back to you in a second, but gotta go play our buddy over here on
Prepare for draft.
balls.
Your pick.
Bringing out the big dogs. Hoo-ah, hoo-ah, hoorah. Somebody messaged me. Only I have no idea where. I think it was actually in Quake.
Ever.
Prepare to fight. Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Will you piss off already?
Lead tied.
Pure tits! Whoa! The blood is like fireworks up in here! Bitchin'! Get bent! You're killing my groove, man! Oh, that feels good.
Lead taken.
Out!
Combo kill.
Yep.
Impressive.
Now you gotta beat me there.
You gotta stop with the negative waves, man. You're just bringing us down.
Impressive.
fuck.
Bail out! I see stars.
What?
Impressive.
Oh man, I just got bageled.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
Eat my balls, bro. Oh
Okay.
man, Splash are still totally BFFs. Whoa. Give me a gun, give me a gun!
Revenge.
Oh my god, bag your face! Prepare for an epic beatdown! Juice it up, baby!
Impressive. Lead tied.
Grab the bull by the horns and ride! Ride that beautiful bastard till your hands are bleeding and your crotch feels like you got kicked in by a conga line of your ex.
Upper tank.
Oh my god.
I see stars. I got this. Oh no 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 no! I got this. Diss me, man?
You win.
Holiest of the moles. Holy moly moly. Okay. Do we get all the SR back now? This. This. Give me the SR back. All right. Did. Nice. Rubber match. Let's see if he queues up again. Let's see if he does it again. One second. All right. Unthwarted, where you at, buddy? Go back over to this. How gas pumps work? We could try it. All right.
But thinking about that central U-shaped tube, what does that tell us about how the petrol nozzle works? Well, this pipe in the model is this pipe in the nozzle. The constriction in the pipe that happens here in the model actually happens here in the nozzle. This spring-loaded stopper here opens slightly under the pressure of the petrol to reveal a really narrow ring for the liquid to pass through. And you can just about see inside that ring, there's a tiny hole there. Actually, there's a number of holes. The one I just illustrated with the paperclip. There's also this one, and there's probably one on the other side as well. But they all lead up to here, and then into this hole, which comes down through here, which feeds into this long tube. This tube that runs to the end of the petrol pump nozzle is equivalent to this tube in the model. So this constriction here creates low pressure in the tube. There is low pressure here at the end of the nozzle. That means air is actually drawn in through this tube. That air simply mixes with the petrol in this part of the nozzle. So how is this used to detect when your petrol tank or your gas tank is full? This bit's really clever. The tube that comes away from the constriction in the flow of the main pipe is actually forked. One tube goes off to the end of the nozzle, as we've seen, but there's actually a second tube that goes off up here. Because of the way this thing has been cut in half, it's not that easy to see, but there is a tube coming off here. Most of it's been cut away, but it was there. And that tube leads to this cavity here. That cavity is sealed by a membrane. You can see part of the membrane just there before it was cut in half. In other words, before I cut it in half, this whole chamber was sealed off with a membrane. So schematically, it would look like this, with two tubes forking off the restriction. This now represents the tube that goes to the end of the nozzle, and this represents the tube that goes to the sealed chamber. So when I blow through this pipe, it will reduce the pressure in this tube and this tube. But look what happens when I put my finger over this tube. It turns out that this tube was relieving some of the negative pressure. And when I put my finger over it, look, you see a sudden jump in the water level in this tube. The same thing happens with the petrol nozzle. This opening is allowing some of that negative pressure to be relieved by allowing air to flow into the system. But then what happens when the level of petrol in your tank reaches the end of the nozzle? Well, it covers up that hole. The tube is now sucking on petrol instead of air. Petrol is heavier than air, so the tube can't suck as much. It can't relieve as much of that suction force. And just like when I put my finger over one pipe in the model, the other pipe experiences an increase in suction force. This is my attempt to put all that together. So you've got the main tube. It has a constriction here. Here's the tube coming off from the constriction. Here is where it forks. One tube goes to the end of the nozzle, the other goes to this chamber that's sealed off with a membrane here. And look, when the liquid in the tank reaches the end of the Venturi tube, you see that membrane gets sucked into the chamber. The membrane moves up only slightly in my model. That's because I don't know much about fluid dynamics. I'm sure there's a lot of things I could tune in this model, like how much is the pipe constricted, how wide are the Venturi tubes, where does the fork happen, all that sort of stuff. But for me, it was incredibly satisfying to see that membrane move at all. So when the petrol in your tank reaches the end of the nozzle, this membrane moves. And you'll notice that this membrane is attached to something. It's attached to this rod here. And that's really important. That's how the nozzle actually turns off. It's quite hard to see what's going on here, so I built another model. So imagine this is a valve that lets petrol through. I need to push this thing up to open the valve. In the actual nozzle, this valve is spring-loaded. In this model, I'm representing that fact with a mass. The mass is pushing back down on the valve like the spring in the real thing. And this here is the handle of the pump.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if I pull this handle up, it will open the valve. But look, it doesn't actually work because we've got a lever happening here.
Oh, a lever.
Pulling the handle up just makes this thing move down. What I need to do is hold this thing in place so that this becomes the fulcrum of the lever.
Oh, the
Now,
lever.
when I pull the handle up, it opens the valve. Great. Now, one way I can hold this thing in place is to put a couple of circles in here.
Oh, circles. Yeah.
And then I put this piece in
Oh,
to
the
hold
little
these
sword.
circles in place to stop them falling into the middle. And there you go. That works perfectly. Now, here's the clever part.
Oh.
This funny wedge thing is attached to the membrane. And remember, when petrol reaches that Venturi tube, it causes the membrane to pop up. And when it pops up, it pulls this part with it. And when it does that, those circles are now free to fall into the middle. They're no
Fucking
longer jamming
circles,
that shaft
man.
in place. And this point stops being the fulcrum. Everything collapses and the valve shuts. In 3 dimensions, this is achieved with 3 ball bearings in these 2 positions.
Oh, the
and
ball
one around
bearings.
the back that you can't see. So let's put all those mechanisms together inside the nozzle itself and recap. So petrol comes in here under pressure and it meets this closed valve. So you pull on this handle here. You'll notice it doesn't open the valve. Instead, this thing moves. But look, you get to this point here, and these ball bearings, they get jammed against the constriction here in the housing. Of course, because I've cut this thing in half, that doesn't work. The constriction doesn't work, and the thing can move when it shouldn't. So I'm just going to use brute force to hold that in place. To
Oh
illustrate
man,
the
he's
point.
so
And look,
broody
now, I've
with
lost
his
the ball bearings
force.
now, when I pull on this handle, this point acts as a fulcrum, and the lever mechanism opens the valve.
Yeah, lets
and
the petrol through.
So
Oh,
let's
God.
imagine the valve is still open. Petrol flows through here. It looks as if this housing is in the way of the petrol, but actually there's a gap underneath and there's a gap on the top as well. So petrol flows around this part of the mechanism. And then
So
the
brute
pressure
I
of the
could mix
petrol
it with
pushes
orange
against
juice
this
and call it a
spring-loaded
mimosa.
thing here, which creates a thin circular channel for the petrol to
It's so
continue to flow
brute.
through the nozzle. Now, because it's a thin channel, And due to the Venturi effect, the pressure is lowered in
Mimosa,
that
screwdriver,
part.
man.
And
You
look,
call it
there's a
whatever you
hole here
want.
and a hole here that links to that.
I
low
suppose
pressure
it just
region,
all depends on
and
what time of
that
the day
hole
it is.
leads over here down into this tube, but it also goes up into this cavity here that is bounded by a membrane at the bottom. Here it's cut in half. Now, because this hole is open to the air, it sucks air in, and that acts to relieve the negative pressure.
Yeah.
But when your petrol tank is full and it comes up to that hole, it's harder to suck on petrol than it is to suck on air. So this tube here is less good at relieving
Less
that negative
good.
pressure, which means
Okay.
that this chamber here feels a
Some people
stronger
might say it's
negative
just
pressure,
worse.
which pulls up on the membrane.
Not this guy.
The membrane is
Less
attached
good.
to this thing, so this thing gets pulled up as well. So let's put all that together at the very end and see
Amander
what happens when
Hammond.
the petrol nozzle in your hand
Hammy,
makes that
ham
clicking
sauce.
sound. So the ball bearings are holding this thing in place, and look,
Man, these
open the
fucking
valve,
balls.
but
Balls
now,
bearing.
look,
Yeah, it's
this
me.
thing-
Yeah.
I'm trying to reach over and-
Yeah,
this thing
man.
lifts up. You see the ball bearings fall into the middle of that thing, which means it can now slide down, which causes this thing
So,
to move down, which causes this thing to move
The
down.
goddamn gas,
closes
you know, when I
And of
fill up my
course,
tank,
that prevents petrol from spilling
drips.
out of your full tank onto the forecourt.
like
which-
every 10 seconds I put in there, I gotta like
This
jerk
video
up
is sponsored
on,
by 80,000 hours, a
you know,
nonprofit
I
that
think it's
helps people
because
to find
my whole
careers that
thing is a little
solve the
old, you
world's
know,
biggest
and
problems. Like, I remember
shooting at a bad
careers
angle.
advice at school where they'd ask questions like, do you like being outside? Do you like people? And
I
they'd
don't like
say
people.
something like, you should be a flight attendant or whatever. And you're
Yeah,
like, thinking,
whatever.
did they even ask the right questions?
Hashtag ad.
You know what I mean? The thing is, there is actually good
Oh,
advice out there
whatever.
for how to find a fulfilling
All
career.
right,
It's
all
just
right.
that
We don't
careers
care.
advice at school doesn't tend to focus on that. Most importantly, it's hard to find good careers advice for people who want to make a difference. The advice
No,
tends
it's not
to be
just-
follow one of these well-known career paths. Be a doctor, be a teacher, be a charity.
Whatever. Planets are weirdly in sync. Yeah, let's see what YouTube wants to suggest for me. Let's pick this one. 22 horrific tech fails they want you to forget. Okay.
Right. Are you ready for some drama? Welcome to my top 21 most painful tech fails of the
Oh
entire
my god, I
decade.
remember
From
those.
just inadequate to catastrophic. Spoiler alert, this is the first time we've ever had a 10 out of 10 fail on one of these lists.
Whoa.
Okay, so in 2018, LG revolutionized the way that humans interacted with robots. Just not in a good way. I was actually sitting here in this crowd when they showed to the world LG Chloe, one robot to manage your entire home. And
That's not good.
never in my life have I seen excitement.
Never have
turn
I ever.
into
Take a drink.
So much cringe, I want to disappear into my chair this quickly.
Am I ready on my washer and cycle?
He asked a question to it, and for 5 of the longest seconds of my entire life, the whole audience just sat there, eyes wide, waiting to see what this next generation of robots was about to do. We're still waiting, but it only started to get really awkward when he then tried again for a second time.
Chloe, what's for dinner tonight?
Your mom.
Fair play to the guy on stage. He tried to play it off like the robot was just angry at him, but by the time he got blanked for the third time,
Chloe, are you talking to me yet? What recipes could I make with chicken?
Oh, Chloe.
the entire audience was just
Maybe
laughing.
he should ask
So,
Alexa.
I'm giving LG Chloe a 2 out of 10 on the failed scale. Now, when I say the word smartphone to you, what do you think of? Some sort of rectangular glass sandwich, right? Well, the Runcible is what you get when you defy that convention. Or really, to be more specific, it's what you get when you defy every convention.
What?
It was world's first circular smartphone. It ditched glass construction for wood. It was even fully user upgradable for sustainability. It's just, it couldn't make phone calls. If you look at the small print on the website, they refer to it as a very small tablet. Which is
What?
fine, but what kind of tablet content am I going to consume on a 2.5-inch circular display? 2 out of 10. Anyways, did
Oh,
you know
shit.
that in 2016, Microsoft created a Twitter account that used artificial intelligence to learn how to talk like a human? They
All right, that's good news.
Vote now.
We finally got a game, guys. Get back at it.
Prepare for draft.
We're going over to Deep
Your
Embrace.
pick.
Yeah. Still use Ranger. Man, I don't know if Hammond's still here or not, but man. Imagine not even being 70 in the World of Warcraft. Hashtag fail.
You bastards. Why are you torturing me like this?
Prepare to fight.
Oh snap. Got a lot of SR.
Round begins in
That's fine.
3, 2, 1.
Damn
Fight.
Stupid
We don't even
portals.
care, man.
Taking me to damn stupid places. Damn stupid monsters. Flip gates are closed. Gotta find another way home.
Be a long game, guys. Okay.
I need a gun. Too painful to be a dream. Too real to be a nightmare. Sometimes the world doesn't need another hero. It needs a monster.
Time. Stopwatch. Showstopper.
A fight?
Revenge.
In the air. Operation is running smooth as silk. I'm gonna go full scorched earth on you. I need to find a slip gate out of this place. Medic!
Hey, great job, man.
This operation is falling apart. Surrender is not an option. you even trying? Your friends are gonna have a hard time peeling you off the wall.
5-minute warning.
Maybe my kingdom's finally come. Too much going on in my head. I can't focus. Kicking a man when he's down, that's pretty low. When you've been here this long, nothing and everything makes sense.
Left. Flags left.
Maybe my kingdom's finally come.
One frag left.
This operation is falling apart.
You lose.
Well, I guess that's what happens when there's nobody playing the game. Get matched up against somebody that's literally 3 times your skill ranking. And that's what happens. So I guess what that means is it's the end of the night. So wrap this up. Let's watch a little bit more of that
They called her Tay, and they said to people,
we'll finish
"The
this
more you talk to
video
her,
and
the
probably
smarter she
call it a
becomes."
night.
Well, in 24 hours, Tay was tweeting some of the most horrific racial slurs on the platform.
What?
When she was created, she started off by saying humans were super cool and how she was stoked to meet us. But in less than one day, she was trying to start a race war. I'm not even
What?
exaggerating. She was swearing, she was quoting Hitler. Because she was learning from every single conversation, the wider population started abusing that, teaching her to say things which were just completely out of order. Tay was sophisticated enough to pick up how humans talked, but she wasn't sophisticated enough to know when she was being led on. And so within 24 hours of being up, Tay was cancelled.
Oh,
Feels like a pretty good general summary of Twitter right now. And a pretty
Yeah,
alarming example
for
of why
real.
we've got to be so careful with how much power we give to AI. So, pretty easy 3 out of 10 fail for this one.
oh
And
man.
by the way, this video was sponsored by Huel. Got something pretty cool to show you at the end.
Huel is kind of a
Okay,
fail in
late
itself, right?
2019, a very excited Elon Musk walks on
Oh my
stage
God, this
to show
guy.
the world Cybertruck. Can you imagine being in this audience with no idea what's coming, no leaks,
Let's see
no
if we can
images,
change the
and then
game in my
watching
stream
as
real
this
quick.
thing rolls onto stage? People were going wild.
Uh,
I've never seen this many audience members trying to take a
game
photo at the exact
just
same time. The only slight
adding?
hitch, though, was that They spent a good portion of this event
There we go.
talking about how strong the Cybertruck was. They said it had a virtually impenetrable exoskeleton. They said the glass was practically bulletproof, except when they actually tested it,
Oh.
they broke it. And they then did what seems to be a common theme here. They tried again. They picked up the same ball, this time threw it at the rear window, and they broke that too.
Oh,
Of
Elon.
course, this clip became the most viewed video about the Cybertruck by a long shot. There are still plenty of people who are excited about this car, but that was awkward. Okay,
That was
let's
pretty
do a rapid fire
awkward.
round for Google here. 3 fails, 3 minutes. Let's go. So first of all was the Nexus Q. It was a media streamer, basically a way for your phone to display content on your TV.
What?
Think Chromecast, only worse. It was wildly expensive at $300. It could only stream Google content like Google Play Music, which is also dead, and the New York Times described this as wildly overbuilt for its limited functions, which is
It's only a
not the kind of
4?
review that any brand wants. But even more disappointing was Google Glass, because unlike the Nexus Q, which just kind of came out of nowhere and then flopped, people were excited about Glass. Google made trailers like this, showing us the world that we were about to step
Yeah,
into.
I remember
They
the
showed 4
Glass.
people wearing Glass jumping out of a plane, whilst all still having a Google Hangouts chat. However, there is such thing as being too early. Google was trying to merge the digital and the physical worlds before the tech was really able to. And so for almost everything it could do, it just had a massive asterisk next to it. You can probably imagine then that this whole concept of dropping $1,500 to effectively
Whoa.
beta test a product that did everything your phone did but worse, did not sit well with the average consumer.
Probably not.
And the final Google blunder, at least for this video, is Stadia. I remember watching this
Stadia
thing get
just
announced.
got shut
This whole
down.
idea of you being able to just watch some gameplay on YouTube, and if you like the look of it, click one button and jump into that game yourself. All being powered by your internet browser with no downloads and no console needed. I remember nearly spitting my drink out all over my keyboard because, whoa, it's just trying to stream a game has a lot more complications than trying to stream a movie or a song. Most notably, input lag. Think about it, for every single time I press a key on my controller, that command has to be transmitted wirelessly to my computer. It's then got to find its way all the way towards the servers that are hosting this game, which were often not close at all, process that command to produce an output, and then send that next frame all the way back down to my computer so that I can see what's happening next. Or to put it in a more visual way, this is kind of what the gameplay looked like, and this is on a high-speed internet connection. Input lag was only one of Stadia's many problems, but we do need to cover other things in this video too, like the Wii U.
What?
Made it.
I have one of those.
You remember the Wii, right?
I did-
That
I do.
console, even though it was about as powerful as my fridge, it changed gaming forever. It was the first time that I'd ever seen 3-year-old kids playing the same games as their 70-year-old grandparents, with both groups loving it. So it's kind of crazy that Nintendo could go straight from highs like this to lows like this. 6 years after the Wii, they decided it was time for its next-gen successor. A console that you could just play normally on your TV, but also with the option to play the entire games using just this new controller with its built-in screen, so other people could use the TV at the same time. I don't think it was a terrible idea, it's just it was executed with all the elegance of a Galaxy Note 7 moments before explosion. There were plenty of issues, but I'd say the primary culprit is just the
True.
fact that they called it the Wii U. What does that even mean?
What
And
does that
more
mean?
importantly, doesn't that just make it sound like it's an add-on for the existing Wii?
Yeah.
Even CNN's first impressions article of the Wii U called it a solid accessory. That's the equivalent of saying the PlayStation 5 is a solid accessory to the PlayStation 4. CNN. So, easy 5 out of 10 fail here. The Wii U was
man.
a colossal flop. And to be honest, if Nintendo hadn't turned things around with the Switch that came after, this could have been the beginning of the end for them. But as we've learned from these videos, you can always do worse. So in 2012, this little box was going viral. Imagine this lady telling you that she was creating a console called the Ouya that for just $99
I've never even heard of
could
this
play
one.
tens of thousands of games, including Minecraft, platformers, shooters, mostly for free.
What?
You'd be pretty excited. I mean, just the idea of a console at that kind of price is unheard of. And so it's almost not surprising that Ouya became the second most funded project on Kickstarter, with almost $9 million behind it.
Whoa.
But when Ouya finally shipped, it became very clear that its biggest perceived strength was also kind of its biggest weakness. Because it was based on Android, yes, you were getting tens of thousands of games. But what was kind of glossed over was the fact that these were fundamentally games made for phones. At the time, in 2012, very few of them had good controller support. Most of them were just kind of cheaply made with in-app purchases. Plus, when you blow up games that were made for a 4-inch 2012 phone screen to a 40-inch TV, people quickly realized that even calling this a current-gen console was really a push. Alrighty, now for the smart home. Or, in this case, the not very smart home. Picture this, it's 2013.
Yeah.
Sony's just announced the PlayStation 4. People are showing off their iPhone 5Cs. Jokes on them, really. And you feel like making a change in your life. Well, lucky for you, Juicero has come up with a machine that can squeeze you your very own fresh fruit juices. If
Cool.
you buy the machine for $700.
Holy shit.
And then pay a subscription to get these sachets of cut-up fruit to use with
What?
it. Do you want to know the funny bit, though? You didn't need the machine. Bloomberg posted a 1-minute video showing how they could actually get the exact same juice but faster.
Oh my god, it was just a
squeezing the sachets
squeezer?
by hand. And this 1-minute video pretty much brought down the entire operation. And
i.e.
if
it's
you are
Peps.
enjoying this video, then a sub to the channel would be
Peps on YT.
juicy.
Surprised
But now is where it
face.
starts to get dangerous.
Yeah.
There's a company called June. They make smart
Oh,
ovens, and
YT.
They have genuinely turned what can often
We
be
are
a
on the
glorious
YT.
appliance into a piece of art. But people quickly
Modern.
found out that their June ovens, at least the first generation of them, could spontaneously turn
I can't
themselves
believe
on
you're on the
and start
YT.
heating up. Imagine sitting in your bed at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, and suddenly your oven
Oh
just
wait,
randomly
I can't
hits
click that
200
window.
degrees Celsius
Let me
in
let me
kitchen
drag
below, with no one there to oversee
this
it.
window
That's-
over to the other
that's kinda
monitor.
scary.
There we
If
go.
there was any food
Yeah,
still
I'm a
left in
streamer.
there, or even really scraps from
I
past
figured it
meals,
out.
that could be enough to start a house fire. June did fix this with a software update, but yikes. You know
Yikes,
what's a level
man.
above that? The Amazon Ring
You might be my
security
first
system. No,
YouTube
Yeah, just
chatter.
scrolling and saw
system
your
that
stream
puts people at
XD.
risk. Good
Yeah,
job,
you
Amazon.
literally are
See,
the first
what
person
happened
that's
was
ever
these
chatted to
cameras
me on
allowed
YouTube.
users to fully see and hear what's
How do you
happening
feel
in
about
any
that?
room at any time. And sure, that's incredibly useful. But because such high-level access was only protected by a simple username and
Are
password,
you subbed to me? You have to be subbed
imagine
to
just
even
sitting there
see
in your
that,
living
right?
room with your family when all of a sudden you hear a voice coming through your security camera.
Uh-oh.
Pay this 50 Bitcoin ransom or else you will get terminated yourself right now.
What?
You realize that this entire time someone's been watching you. It sounds like something straight
Yeah.
out of a horror movie. And what makes this worse is that these hackers would threaten and sometimes even blackmail the families they were looking at. There was one famous incident where there was an old lady in an apartment and a voice said to her, "Tonight you die." Oh, yeah, and
Whoa,
also, the
whoa,
Amazon Ring
whoa.
smart doorbells,
Not getting
the
one of these
company product
Amazon
and cameras,
rings.
they started spontaneously bursting into flames.
Oh, shit.
So,
Okay.
quite the duo. I mean, obviously this wasn't Amazon's fault, and they did address it with a software update, but what a horrendous oversight.
Fuck Amazon, man.
Okay, do you remember when segways and hoverboards were like the coolest thing on the planet?
Man, I always want
How
I always
it
wanted to
finally
try
felt
one of
like
these.
We'd figured out a solution to walking.
Yeah, fuck walking.
Where did they go? Well, we found out the hard way that segways were dangerous.
What?
You lose focus for just 1 second and you're either in a ditch, a road, or you've already knocked
I've never
someone.
actually got to try a
Even the President
Segway.
of the United States was seen falling off one of these.
Oh,
And this
goddamn.
right here shows when a cameraman managed to plow straight into Usain Bolt, world's fastest sprinter. Or at least he was before that. It's actually kind of sad. You know, the owner of the Segway company in 2010, he actually drove a Segway off a cliff. And he
What?
died. You know, I was actually going to make an
No
edit to this
way.
video on a Segway, but then partway through doing it, the battery ran out and I fell nearly face first on the ground. They're dangerous. And so it's not really surprising that a lot of governments got involved and basically started banning their use in public spaces. And
Aw,
what really didn't
man.
help is that many of these supposed hoverboards, which, let's be honest, were just boards, they started catching on fire. 500,000 of them had to be recalled, which, let's face it, that's enough to ruin any potentially up-and-coming product. So, this is definitely a 7 out of 10 territory. And that
No
leaves us
way.
with a few major social
Hard-
media
a
fails
hard
leading up
4.
to the big number 1. And we'll start with our good friends at Facebook.
Ah, Zuck.
Okay, it's 2018. Facebook has just had one of the biggest data breaches of all time, affecting 50 million users, not to mention arguably the biggest tech scam of the decade, where users' data was extracted from Facebook to be used for political advertising. What a
shit.
great time to launch a massive Facebook-branded always-on camera, screen, and microphone to sit in people's homes.
Yeah, so we
They
could
called
spy
it
on them.
The Facebook Portal. It
Yeah.
wasn't good. In fact, it was actually referred to as the worst tech device of the year, and it was kind of a turning point for a lot of people who realized that they did not trust Facebook.
Oh,
And
weird.
What makes it worse is that in an interview less than 6 months later, Mark Zuckerberg himself, when trying to give an example of what would be considered going too far when it comes to the invasion of privacy, he said, "We definitely don't want a society where there's a camera in everyone's living room." And while we're at it, with
Instead-
Facebook, you might remember that recent January WhatsApp update. They came
No,
completely out
I
of the
don't
blue
know
with a
anything about that.
notification saying that their terms of service had been updated. But they could have worded this a little better.
Really?
What it came across as was that this update allowed WhatsApp to share its data with Facebook.
Oh
And
my god.
people were furious.
I'd be
Because,
pissed.
of course, the implication was that even when you think you're having a private chat with someone, that data is not just not private, but it's actually going to be used to give you even more scarily accurate adverts. Now, given the reputation that Facebook already had at this point,
Oh my
they
god.
did not need this. Millions of users started boycotting WhatsApp, and millions not just uninstalled it, but went to competing apps like Signal, and got their entire social group to do the same. Fun
Yep.
fact, I actually got asked to be on radio here in the UK just to talk to people about the best apps they could switch to. And WhatsApp did come out afterwards and say, "Hey, guys, it was a misunderstanding. We didn't mean to do that. We don't share data with Facebook." But
What they
that
do?
almost makes it more of a fail. They nuked a massive part of their user base just because they couldn't structure their sentences clearly. So that puts this in definite 7 out of 10 territory. And then we've got YouTube.
The
I've got a lot to be
YT?
grateful for on YouTube. I mean, they're the only reason that I'm able to sit here and talk to you like this.
I'm
It's
on the
amazing.
YT.
But the one thing that I think we can agree isn't is Rewind.
What?
So it's become a bit of a tradition that once per year, YouTube creates a mashup of the most memorable moments that happened on YouTube. And
Really?
people used to love it. Just being able to see your favorite influencers who never normally would have interacted dancing together in a room. It's like a really fun version of an award ceremony. But YouTube has progressively killed that sentiment. Instead of the usual 95% like to dislike ratio, as soon as we hit 2016, people started disliking Rewind. This video had something like 87% likes, which
Whoa.
is enough to know that something's off. But then 2017 had 68% likes,
Whoa.
and 2018 had 13.8% likes. And is still the most disliked video on the entire internet. How does YouTube themselves go that wrong? Well, it seems like the answer is that they've become disconnected from their creators. Like this 2018 Rewind, it started with Will Smith, who YouTube probably got in there because they thought, well, this will make us seem legit.
Fortnite and Marquez Brownlee.
But actually everyone watching this was just thinking, why is Will Smith, actor, in a YouTube Rewind? And the whole video just went on about a bunch of stuff that was kind of significant, but it ignored an alarming amount of the really big stuff. Maybe YouTube just wants
No.
YouTube to seem like a really family-friendly platform. And so
No.
they skipped over all the drama and the controversy, but as far as the viewer and as far as the creators are concerned, that's what makes YouTube YouTube. And so Rewind starts to feel less like a one-off super special video that everyone got amped up for, more just like a feel-good PG-rated trailer for YouTube as a service. And don't even get me started on the 2019 Rewind.
Man,
which was
maybe
just a
I
countdown
have
videos
never
that did
seen a
well,
Rewind.
And the 2021, it didn't actually happen. So, you know how it feels like everyone under the age of 30 is on Instagram and TikTok right now? Well, in some alternate universe, they'd all be on an app called Quibi. It stands for Quick Bites, and it was meant to be the Netflix for the up-and-coming generation, where it was still big-budget content, but capped at 10 minutes in length. The idea
what?
being that more and more, we're consuming content in shorter bursts. We are less about now sitting down for 2 hours at a time watching an entire film, more about spending 10 minutes here watching a couple of TikTok videos, spending 10 minutes here flicking through an Instagram feed. So
Huh.
this was quality TV built to replace that time. And it was packing heat. It was
Yeah.
led by Meg Whitman,
Who?
ex-CEO of HP, and Jeffrey Katzenberg, chairman
Who?
of Walt Disney Studios. And together,
Never heard
these
of
guys
them.
managed to raise $1.7 billion in funding. The failure came, though, because this was like an older person's view of what younger people want. It was built for the 20 to 35 age group,
Yeah.
but by people who were over 60. What they needed to do was to get those same YouTubers and TikTokers that this generation was engaging with to create special high production value content for them. But What they actually did was to just get a whole load of A-list Hollywood celebrities instead. It was a star-studded cast, don't get me wrong, but I think they misjudged their audience. And I also think that they somewhat devalued their own product by capping it at 10 minutes. Because as densely packed with celebrities as these videos were, we've kind of got used to the idea of not paying for Yes, these are the kinds of examples my brain comes up with.
Great.
Now we are stepping it up another level. Because in July of
Personal
last year,
space.
there was a hackening. 130 of the most high-profile to
I
date.
don't care about this.
I guess, and so thankfully, in any list of tech fails made in 2021,
That's number 3.
we can't not talk about Cyberpunk. And for those of you who don't
Okay,
know,
that-
tell everything else box about it.
Yeah, I feel like this up earlier and there was way more fail.
Disaster that I've ever seen in my life. 9 out of 10 fail. Now, we've already seen some alarming things on this list.
Yeah,
Some
what's
things
number
that
2?
might worry you. But imagine your worry if you saw this message pop up on your phone. Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. This was a message that was sent one day in 2018 to every TV, radio, and smartphone in Hawaii. People were already on edge. Just about smartphone fails. Next episode of this series. So, number 1.
Number
And
1.
This is the first time that I've ever awarded a fail anything above a 9 out of 10. We're talking about Theranos. I know what you're thinking. Not Thanos. Let me introduce you to a lady called Elizabeth Holmes, who saw an opportunity in medical tech. She realized that the current way blood was being tested for diseases and cancers was super inefficient, because every single test scientists wanted to do required a separate vial of blood. So she basically created a machine that could just take one tiny blood sample, and with that, do over 240 tests on it, all at once, all at a fraction of the cost. This could have changed medicine forever. This could have changed every single one of our lives. This woman was a hero, an inspiration. She was often referred to as the female Steve Jobs because of how she loved these turtlenecks. Her company
that's
a
why.
valuation of $9 billion. Think of the PS5 bridge you could build with that. But it was all founded on lies.
What?
Right from the very beginning, this machine did not do what she said it did. She claimed to investors that it had been used in the military and that it had been used in emergency rooms, but it hadn't. This Theranos company, they didn't even themselves use these machines. They would tell these investors, yeah, sure, of course we can give you a demo of our tech. And they would take their blood samples, go into a back room, and test it using conventional methods, come back in, and claim their machines had done it. So anyone who'd actually used one of these machines to get their blood results was very likely misdiagnosed. And when you think of the severity of being told that you have cancer when you don't,
Holy
or even
shit,
worse,
what's
being told
going
that
on?
you don't when you do, this is bad. So bad that the entire company had to shut down. So bad that Elizabeth Holmes is on trial. So bad that there's an award-winning documentary made about her scam, and even apparently an entire feature film in the works with Jennifer Lawrence playing as her. I think this is worthy of a 10 out of 10 fail. Okay,
yeah,
by the time I
probably.
finish this sentence, you have watched me make my very own Thai green curry. That's literally it. You get your Huel powder,
Alright.
you mix it into hot water, cover it.
Great. Great. We're going to wrap this up and head on out. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Try again tomorrow.